So TNA was another taped show from Manchester, England. And the show started off with aces and eights in the ring. And it looked really odd looking at them all in the ring and seeing everybody unmasked except the big guy, the secondary spokesperson of the group, I guess. It just looked really odd that he's the only one that still has a mask on, considering that, you know, he was the one that stressed that everybody prevent themselves from being unmasked, and now he's the only one that has a mask on. So Devon is speaking and the crowd starts delivering the what chants. So it goes to prove that whether it's a theme park visitor audience in Orlando or an enthusiastic United Kingdom audience, wrestling crowds are always going to be WWE'd up the ass, unfortunately. So then Devon hands the mic off to Garrett Bischoff, and then that's followed up with Wes Briscoe on the mic, and that turned out to be the two biggest mistakes of the show, and something that TNA should never do again. Another problem I had was the fact that Taz was not down there. If he's supposed to be a member of the group, then he should have been down there. Otherwise, he just comes off as a heel commentator who's sympathetic to aces and eights. If he's a member, he should be down there. So the show started off as far as the first match. The X Division Championship match. Rob Van Dam defending against Kenny King and Zema Ion. Now personally, I hate three-way matches for a championship, because a champion should never lose his title if he is not pinned or not made to submit. Having a challenger winning a title in this situation, you know, where he can pin the other challenger or make the other challenger submit, you know, to win a championship makes no sense. But anyway, it was an alright match. Rob Van Dam retains, shocking. And once again, we're seeing the same X Division guys, you know, again. And that's why this needs to be settled at Lockdown. It only makes sense that Kenny King wins the title. But Rob Van Dam cannot be champion after Lockdown. It just would not make sense if he is still the champion, Rob Van Dam. So then there was a video review of the TNA British Boot Camp, and I watched it on YouTube, and it was alright. It featured Rockstar Spud, the Blossom Twins, and Marty Scurll. Now, there really technically aren't any winners or losers here, because they're all likely going to be signed by TNA anyway, but I know they had to showcase someone as the winner, and that being Rockstar Spud. But I personally felt that the Blossom Twins should have won. I mean, you know, Rockstar Spud, I mean, he's that arrogant, irritating, pretty boy heel, and TNA already has that in Zema Ion, so why bring someone over that's going to be redundant? The Blossom Twins, on the other hand, would have been a better choice because they fit a need that TNA has right now. The TNA women's division sucks, and the Blossom Twins would be that fresh, welcome addition to that division. But more specifically, they are a tag team, and it would give the company a reason to make the women's tag team championship worthy and relevant. So I thought from that aspect, the Blossom Twins would have been the better choice. So then there was a segment which D'Lo Brown and Bruce I Hate Women's Wrestling Pritchard having a discussion about Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe joining Aces and Eights. Once again, this is TNA telegraphing to everyone that D'Lo Brown is going to be the next member revealed of Aces and Eights. Or maybe they'll pull a swerve and it'll be Bruce Pritchard. Either way, the fact that you're pretty much telling us all this just doesn't make sense, but it's TNA. Then in the ring you had Mr. Duh doing a promo, complete waste of time. But then James Storm comes out and does his promo to counter. Then they have a match, and James Storm beats Mr. Duh. Now this was a waste from two different viewpoints. As far as Mr. Duh is concerned, you know, someone that nobody cares about from a suck-ass pseudo-reality show that nobody cares about. And on the other side, you have James Storm, a waste from his point of view in the sense that he's just there doing nothing significant, and there's no creative direction for him right now. But hopefully that'll change. As far as James Storm goes, there have been two major criticisms I've heard from some people. His beer drinking celebration and his super kick maneuver. As far as the beer drinking celebration goes, oh, he's ripping Steve Austin. Well, the Sandman was doing the beer drinking celebration before Steve Austin did it. And as far as the super kick goes, oh, well, he took that from Shawn Michaels. Well, who do you think Shawn Michaels got it from? He got it from Gentleman Chris Adams. Chris Adams was the first wrestler to do it. And if you don't know who Chris Adams is, YouTube. So then we had the World Tag Team Championship. Robert Roode and Austin Aries challenging Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. Roode and Aries win the match, and they're the new tag team champions. Aries made the pin after delivering a 450, which bothered me a little bit because that's a maneuver for a face, you know, not a heel. I mean, heels can do technical moves, of course, but not that maneuver. But I can overlook that because the more important issue is that they're the new tag team champions, Aries and Roode. And I know there have been some criticisms about Aries and Roode being a team that it dilutes the championship contender list. But I really don't have an issue with that. I like seeing them as a team. I just would prefer that they be more serious-minded. If they were serious-minded, then you're looking at the next Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson as far as this wrestling era goes. But I don't expect TNA to do that. So it could have been so much potential there, but I know it's not happening. So then he had the women's match as a non-title match, Tara against Brooke Tessmacher. And of course the continuation of Tara's terrible heel persona, which was made even worse in this match when she kept calling out for Mr. Duh, looking back at him, you know, sometimes not paying attention in the match because of that. And, you know, Brooke Tessmacher was Brooke Tessmacher. I mean, you know, the ass shaking is starting to take a little more precedence over the wrestling, but that's okay. It's not much, but just a little. It was an okay match. Like I said, TNA has totally ruined Tara, where I can't even watch her anymore, and it's sad because she's a good worker, and the fact that she has to do this just it's pointless and it's disappointing. but Brooke Tessmacher won the match. You know, even if you didn't read the spoilers, you knew Tara wasn't winning. I mean, what does a champion gain from winning a non-title match? Nothing. So then you had Rockstar Spud in the ring being introduced, and you know, he gets into it with Robbie E, who would be a decent heel. I thought he came off good in this. If they could just drop the Jersey Shore garbage, I think he'd be a decent heel. And Rob Terry was with him, and I guess Rockstar Spud hit Robbie E, and then Rockstar Spud did metal horns or something like that. And it looks like they're going to turn Rob Terry face, which will be another example of TNA trying to fit someone into a situation that doesn't work. So, you know, that's one of the things that TNA really needs to examine. So then the main event, you had the tables match, Bully Ray and Sting against Devon and the Director of Chaos. And yeah, the match was good, but I just really couldn't get into it as far as the creative side of it, because what they've done with Bully Ray is just I just don't get it, and I'm never going to get into it. I mean, especially the part when they had him doing the Hogan comeback, you know, sequence that Hogan used to do. I mean, that was just totally lame. Just pointless. But Bully Ray and Sting win the match. Is Aces and Eights ever going to win a match? I mean, you make this group look weaker and less significant every week. Because remember, they had some of that momentum gained back after that happened. And if you want to know what that is, then go back and listen to my commentary that I did for the show on January 17th. And then you'll know exactly what I'm referring to. But they had all this momentum, some of it back after that. And then it's just, now it's completely gone. I mean, Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe, does that really make them stronger? And now you lose another match. What was wrong with Aces and Eights winning? What would have been so wrong with them winning this tables match? Lockdown is roughly a month away, and you should have had all your matches signed by now, because that was the whole point of reducing the number of pay-per-views, to have more time to build the pay-per-views. And it's a month away, and you don't have any matches signed, and you make this group look weaker. Why should anybody even care what happens at Lockdown involving Aces and Eights? And as far as Bully Ray goes, I know a lot of you said, oh, don't worry, you know, everything's going to be fine with Bully Ray. There's going to be a payoff at the end, you know, specifically at Lockdown. Well, I hope so. Because Bully Ray went from the #1 heel in the company at one time to being involved with Hogan and Hogan's daughter. Yeah. So I hope you all are right. I'm Tazmart 2002, and that was my TNA Impact Analysis for February 7th, 2013. Please leave your comments below, click like or dislike, and if you subscribe, I would appreciate it very much. You can get at me at Twitter, TAZMARK2002, if you have any questions, you want to get my take on anything. And if your comments are more than 140 characters, you can email me at Tazmart2002@gmail.com. It was a fairly good show with the audience, but fairly good. I'm Tazmart 2002. Gone.